Well, first of all, I've had frustrations, as you and I were talking off camera, with the Democratic Party for a long time. And the DNC has got to do a lot better if they're going to meet this moment in history.
Good afternoon, beautiful people, and happy Wednesday. So, every now and then a politician accidentally tells the truth. And then what happens? Everybody starts scrambling because the truth actually exposes a problem that people have been trying very hard to hide. So Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey went on national television and basically admitted what a lot of Democrats have been quietly saying behind closed doors for months. Their party is struggling. Their message isn't connecting, and voters aren't exactly buying what they're selling. Welcome to Nellie Miranda.
New leadership, who? I mean, the new leadership suggests, first of all, that the old leadership, the current leadership, is not delivering. So you haven't said you want Schumer to go, but that's a kind of a subtext of it. Who should be leading your party?
Look,
As always, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Okay, so here's what makes this story interesting. This time, it is not Republicans saying that Democrats have a leadership problem. It's Cory Booker, one of their own, saying that Democrats need new leadership and need to do a better job connecting with voters. We've all known this forever, but I am glad he is arriving at that conclusion. And almost at the exact same time, Booker and several New Jersey Democrats found themselves in another political fight involving an ICE detention facility, which Senator Mark Wayne Mullen is calling a political stunt. The Democrats are panicking heading into midterms, and I think this latest immigration showdown will be a headache for the party. You know what can also be a headache for you if you don't get the proper help? Medicare. And that is why I am going to tell you about my trusted partner chapter. Many seniors are probably on the wrong plan that does not fit their needs, and they don't even know it. There are so many different plans, coverage, and costs, and I'm sure you guys will try to do your own research, but the government websites are so confusing. For only 20 minutes of your day, Chapter will walk you through all of your options and make sure you are getting the best plan for your needs. The call is completely free, and there is zero pressure to sign up. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain, including a peace of mind. Imagine an emergency medical situation arises and your current plan doesn't even cover it. That would be a complete nightmare, so you owe it to yourself to double check. So again, if you are on Medicare and you love yourself as much as I love you, please dial 646-817-8160. That is 646-817-8160, or go to askchapter.org/Nellie. Now back to the story. So let's start with Cory Booker. During a recent interview, Booker was asked about the Democratic Party's direction and whether party leadership was doing enough. And instead of giving the typical politician answer dancing around the question, Booker acknowledged that Democrats need stronger leadership and suggested that the party has not fully met the moment. Take a listen.
About some politics, because obviously the Democratic National Committee was kind of forced to release this autopsy report, such as it was, that it commissioned about the 2024 campaign. They were forced because CNN got a copy of it and was reporting on it, so they released it. Now, it's not a really very impressive report. It doesn't even mention President Biden's ill-fated decision to run for re-election, not to mention any of his aging issues. It didn't mention tensions in the party over Israel-Gaza. And I guess my question is, how can the Democratic Party hope to win tomorrow if it won't even honestly confront the problems of yesterday?
well, first of all, I've had frustrations, as you and I were talking off camera, with the Democratic Party for a long time. And the DNC has got to do a lot better if they're going to meet this moment in history. What I see when I travel around, though, is not people concerned with the Democratic Party. And my advice to the party leaders is that be less concerned about the party and far more concerned about the American people. The American people have lost trust because of all politics as usual. People are suffering, people are hurting, and they're going to support the leaders. And I'm seeing this in Tallarico, in Ossoff, in Cooper, in North Carolina, that those leaders are stepping up and saying, I don't give a damn about parties, I care about people. You cannot lead the people if they don't trust you. And that's what's lacking right now with party apparatus.
I think a lot of Democrats are asking the same questions, but may not be saying it out loud. Who is the leader in the Democratic Party? Yes, there are many loud voices, but who's leading the charge? Is it AOC, Ilhan Omar, Hakeem Jeffries maybe? I think the bigger question is, Why are Democrats still struggling to find a message that resonates with working class voters?
New leadership, who? I mean, the new leadership suggests, first of all, that the old leadership, the current leadership, is not delivering. So you haven't said you want Schumer to go, but that's a kind of a subtext of it. Who should be leading your party?
Look, again, this is why primaries are helpful, and this is why people who want to lead right now need to be stepping up and putting a vision before the American people. I see that in the people I'm going to campaign for, and even in New Jersey, I'm rolling out new vision. Get rid of income tax, federal income tax for families. Your first $75,000 should not be taxed. That would give about 10% more income to most Americans, and I put out a plan to do that. An anti-corruption policy that makes literally senators not be able to trade stocks. It's why I don't take corporate PAC money. It's why I don't take issue area PAC money. We need to start talking about why billionaires and the biggest corporations, we had 88 last year, pay no taxes of our biggest corporation, while firefighters or military people serving right now are paying a higher effective tax rate. This system come to most Americans, and I put out a plan to do that. An anti-corruption policy that makes literally senators not be able to trade stocks. It's why I don't take corporate PAC money. It's why I don't take issue area PAC money. We need to start talking about why billionaires and the biggest corporations, we had 88 last year, pay no taxes of our biggest corporation, while firefighters or military people serving right now are paying a higher effective tax rate. This system is rigged. People feel that, and they need leaders that speak to that pain and have a vision to get us out of it.
The reality is Democrats are facing an identity crisis. Some want the party to move further left. Others think that's exactly what's gotten them into the trouble. Some want the focus on climate issues. Others want the focus on the economy. Some want open criticism of immigration enforcement. And others are starting to realize that voters are increasingly concerned about border security. The disagreements in the Democrat Party are showing up everywhere.
Senator Cory Booker is calling on the DNC to release its autopsy of the failed 2024 Harris campaign. He joined other Democratic leaders urging the party to come clean on why Kamala Harris lost to President Donald Trump. DNC Chairman Ken Martin decided last year to not make the report public, calling it a distraction from the party's main work. That move was pretty unpopular, especially since he'd promised to share it at first. Harris herself called for its release just last week, and Booker backed her up during a media interview. Release the autopsy, Booker said straight out. He added that with an election 6 months away, the DNC should focus on getting voters to the polls in record numbers. Booker's up for re-election in New Jersey next year, and he's expected to hold on easily in that blue state. But the third-term senator is hinting at bigger things, saying he's not ruling out a 2028 presidential run. When asked about Harris leading Democrats again, Booker pushed for a robust primary. He called it a disservice to Harris that she didn't face one last time, and hopes 2028 brings a crowd of top Democrats like AOC, Newsom, and others to compete for the nomination.
So again, if a Democrat senator is publicly saying that the party needs new leadership and that the party should be less concerned about themselves and more concerned about voters, I think that tells us that there are serious concerns behind the scenes. That brings us to the second part of the story. Over Memorial Weekend, a group of New Jersey Democrats became involved in a dispute surrounding the Delaney Hall ICE detention facility in Newark. Democrats argued that they were seeking answers about conditions inside the facility and wanted greater transparency. Republicans saw something completely different, and Senator Mark Wayne Mullen went on calling the entire thing a political stunt and accusing Democrats of using Memorial Day weekend to generate headlines. He argued that Democrats were more interested in creating viral moments than solving immigration problems.
We're keeping an eye on the Delaney Hall ICE detention facility in Newark, New Jersey, where that chaotic scene unfolded yesterday and where we are seeing more signs of unrest today. State Democrats say they're coming back today after they spent their Memorial Day weekend with masked protesters clashing with law enforcement. Now, here's a look at the chaos that unfolded outside Delaney Hall today.
Shame on you! Step back! And we should be ashamed! You're not ashamed! I know the best lawyers!
Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, who was charged with assaulting a federal officer during a similar stunt at Delaney Hall last year, was there. She posted yesterday, "I am back at Delaney Hall with members of our New Jersey delegation and Governor Sherrill. I'm talking to advocates and families, inspecting the facility and demanding justice. We've seen the inhumane conditions, heard reports of abuse, and there's one right option: shut down Delaney Hall."
LaMonica McIver is something else. I am so glad there were no headlines about her ramming ICE agents again. So as we all know, ICE officials have been heavily criticized, especially regarding the way that they run their facilities. ICE officials state that detainees receive meals, water, hygiene supplies, access to legal representation, and other services required under federal detention standards. Again, that is their position, but the Democrats have questioned those claims, and they continue to push for additional oversight. It's funny how they want oversight over these detention centers, but they never want oversight when it comes to our tax dollars. But anywho, I think that the Democrats are trying to satisfy two groups of voters. One group wants stricter immigration enforcement and worries about safety, and the other wants less enforcement, with detention practices being the core focus, as if we don't have bigger fish to fry in America. Anyways, and with that, I think that's why Cory Booker spoke about leadership in the party.
Senator, so this is how they do it. They either want to call ICE racist, Hitler, or Gestapo, and try to demonize them so people won't sign up to work for ICE. That's what they want. Or now they want to say, no, you can't retrofit a warehouse to have a temporary processing center to keep people out of the elements.
Well, they're pushing people to have that picture of the tent city again.
Right.
And unfortunately, this happened in Oklahoma City. Our mayor in Oklahoma City was adamantly against a detention center that was going into an empty warehouse building that was just going to be a processing center. This isn't a prison. This isn't a jail. This is why we're processing individuals that we already know that are here illegal, that we are going to be sending back to the country to which they originated from. And for the idea that they're doing this for optics, it's shameful, but it's where they're at today. This whole Trump derangement is real, and the fact that these mayors and
but
these
they're
governors,
banking that it's going to work in the midterms, that they're going to get their base out, and that our people are going to sit on their duffs and not go out to vote.
Well, we can't allow that to happen. That's why your show is so important. That's why the president's message is so important tonight. That's why we've got to call these governors out. We've got to call these mayors out that are doing this, because that agenda isn't going to work. President Trump was elected to restore law and order on our streets and to go after the criminals and the felons that are walking our streets. So why? Law-abiding citizens can feel safe in their own backyard.
At the end of the day, I think the most important part of the story isn't the fight over the ICE facility. It's the fact that one of the Democratic Party's biggest name is openly admitting that the party has problems. So the question now is whether Democrats can actually figure out what they stand for before voters head to the polls. So what do you think? Do you agree with Cory Booker that Democrats need new leadership? And do you still think immigration is still one of the biggest issues hurting Democrats politically? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But before I let you go, I have to show you this video of the Democrats making a fool out of themselves.
They work here. They work here. That's racist. They just assume. Yeah, they just assume that they got racist.
But as always, if you got any value from today's video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to support the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss any future updates. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.